All right, we're gonna get started. Hello, everyone. Albert, hello. YouTube Cubes, I was not here yesterday, so if you're looking for day 8, we did not have it on Monday. We are now on Tuesday. This week is flying by, but not. It's all the same. I have no focus. 0. Still not there. I've done everything I can to get my focus back, but we're like back to long COVID levels of not being able to think. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's just there. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I can't really think. Like right now, I'm struggling to even talk. So, today we are going to fish. And that's just pretty much it. I made 62, 63 gold last night. 63. It was like 63 and a half. The more I think about it. So I was able to pull off about 20 to 31 gold worth per hour in the couple hours I played last night. So that's pretty good. So we already made our 50 gold for the day. Now I just need to work on legendary fish. We need to get to 1,400 legendary fish in the inventory, and we're going to use any excess money we make from that. We're going to get the 1,400 ambergris that we need, and then we're going to take any extra stuff after that and just liquefy into gold. So Breath of Fire 4, I don't remember fishing in Breath of Fire 4. I remember fishing pretty hard in Breath of Fire 3. I think I caught everything in Breath of Fire 3. And we went back to Breath of Fire 3 just for a moment last year. Really love that game. And I went to do the fishing, and I do not remember how I was good at that fishing ever. Funny enough, I think I still have Breath of Fire 4. I think I still own it somewhere in a closet. And I just didn't like Breath of Fire 4 as much as I liked Breath of Fire 3. I don't know, something about it I just couldn't get into. I think I just didn't understand. I played through it to the end. I beat the game, and it felt very short compared to Breath of Fire 3. It just didn't feel the same for some reason. Especially when you get to the desert and things. I don't know. Felt like I was missing characters. It was a bootleg version. I just don't know it. But anyhow. Seeing a lot of people scream about roadmaps. Even I have been like, hey, where's the roadmap? Listen, we're not going to get a roadmap. Okay? We're not even a year past End of Dragons, okay? So just enjoy your festivals and things for the time being. I think last year, I think I just saw that shaman say it too. They didn't give us a roadmap until March. So I think there is one coming, but it won't come until next week. Now, if we get one this week, fantastic. But I just don't think we'll get one until next week. I think there's a lot of hype, a lot of content creators hyping up the idea of a roadmap, but it's just not something that is given out freely, and it's usually the last roadmap covered beginning of this year. So until all of that's done, which is almost all done, we probably won't see the next roadmap until then, and more than likely we will get an announcement of some sort before that, or maybe shortly after it, about the next Living World season and whatever's planned. So, Binary Galco, welcome. Funny because most didn't like it. I loved 4. Man, I'm not saying I didn't like 4. I just didn't like it as much as 3. I love Breath of Fire. I've never played the first one. And I've only played halfway through the second one, but I enjoyed that one too. I just didn't get Breath of Fire 4, I guess. I don't know. It was just really different, I guess. Felt like a different series. But anyhow, no roadmap, no worries about that. We'll walk into the gym store just for a second here. Let me go ahead and hop on a character that isn't our fishing character. The only one you've played it, but you enjoyed it. I always fear going back and playing an earlier iteration of a series. After playing I just did something I didn't want to do. What was it? Guild Wars 2 efficient. God, man, I have no brain power. It's gone. I don't know what happened. Never had it, Zorric. Listen. Oh, my account with gym store items is back over 300,000. Eat it. All right, we're starting at 9383 for account value, liquid gold. And now I want to go play Breath of Fire 3. Maybe we should go play Breath of Fire 4. No, maybe we should start with Breath of Fire 1. All right, let me grab that money right there. Gym store. On the gym store, there's a new scarf. Probably not the character to do this on, but it's a scarf with the two things hanging in the back. Panther related, Lunar New Year related. I don't know. Has different dye channels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 maybe. So there it is. There. And they also have this hammer, one would call it. Like it's based off of a Cerberus, but they call it the Soul River Hound hammer skin. The blue flames, that ember effect that they really like now. They're using it everywhere. Don't forget they also have the floating lantern skiff if you've missed out on that, and the magmatic torch skin, which actually fits this character pretty well. Almost too well. Bank tabs are also 20% off. Thinking about grabbing one. Thinking about it. I got so many characters. I need to start abusing my characters. Lots of stuff on sale. The moon chair is still there, by the way. That stuff, if you want it, I don't know. I just wanted to point the stuff out in the gym store because it came out today. A lot of gym store stuff lately. I don't think there's new Black Lion weapon.
Yes?
Happened to my music too. What just happened? I should replay Breath of Fire 1 and then play the retranslation of Breath of Fire 2? There's a retranslation of Breath of Fire 2? Why? Was the first one bad? I don't know the fastest way to get to a vendor for the Black Lion weapons except this one. I don't know why. The Soul River is actually in what is that? The Fissure of Woe? Is that what they call it? So the Soul River actually exists inside of Guild Wars universe. It's just God, man, this brain. Okay. No new Black Lion weapons. That's all I cared about. An unofficial one, and yes, it was bad. Like the easier versions of Final Fantasy, all of them terrible translations. Terrible. They're terrible. I don't care what people say. Cecil knew what he was doing in Final Fantasy IV. Okay? He knew the ring was gonna blow up the town. He knew it. But more importantly, Rosa says, "I love you" to Cecil. I knew that happened. I played the PlayStation version, which was the direct translation of the Japanese one. It's the true one. And the game wasn't altered in any way. It wasn't easier. Ridiculous. People are ridiculous. I always knew, because it made more sense that he knew the king was being a tyrant. And going to the town and watching those, like, the thing was, he was already doing he was a Dark Knight, right? He was already doing bad things. It made sense for him to go do another bad thing, but this time, innocent people dying triggered in his head, well, this ain't right. And it also then makes more sense why Rydia reacts the way she does to them and summons Titan and causes a rift, right? Because she doesn't trust him at all at first until he saves her again, or saves her once, or saves her from him technically after the fact. Yeah, in the previous but it just didn't make sense to me for him to go, "What? The ring blows up the town? What do you think a bomb ring is?" Here's a ring with the word bomb in it. Here you go. Am I the only one where it just didn't add up? That part of the story always seemed weird until the Pixel Remaster brought back the... I actually went and looked up years ago, like, if that was right, and it turns out it wasn't. And people are upset now in this day and age because the Pixel Remaster went back to the original script and translated from there. And so all the games, all the Pixel Remasters, when you play through them, like, some of it has changed and people are upset about it, but it's like, no, he's a bad guy that turns into a good guy. Final Fantasy stories are weird, isn't it? I think Final Fantasy VIII story is by far the most linear story ever. Students raised to beat a sorceress. Other students side with the sorceress. Bad empire. Everybody fights. Like, that's it. And then the heroes, it doesn't get weird until the heroes gotta go, man, we need to go back in time. Also, Final Fantasy VIII has space. Final Fantasy VII has space, but in Final Fantasy VIII, that's where you get your airship, and it ends up just being a spaceship you're flying around the planet. God, I love Final Fantasy VIII. The more I play that game, the more I love it. I don't know why. When I first played it, I was like, yeah, it's a Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy IX doesn't have space. Does it? Oh, they cut it out. Well, they do have the inner dimensions, though. They do have the flip sides of the planets. Much like Final Fantasy VI. Remember, the series always follows in threes. So Final Fantasy VIII is one of the off series. So Final Fantasy 2, 5, and 8 are empires. You're fighting an empire. Yeah, it has real space, yes. Because we got on the moon! It was just package? Was it always package? No. See, the thing was, Binary, when I played through the games, I played the PlayStation versions of the Final Fantasy games. Turns out, I guess they're harder. But they were also more closely translated. So... And I loved Final Fantasy, so when the internet came out, I was like, what's the Japanese ones like? Mostly because I was like, man, if Final Fantasy 3 is an actual Final Fantasy 3, what's the actual Final Fantasy 3? I did know there was Final Fantasy 1. That was my original Final Fantasy. I played that when I was like 5 years old, right? Yeah, it was my first Final Fantasy. Then the next Final Fantasy I would play would be 6. Because I didn't have the knowledge or the consoles to play that. But Final Fantasy 2 and 3 weren't released in the US. 4 came out as Final Fantasy 2, which nobody confuses. I believe it was 4, and then 6 was 3. So we never got 2, 3, and 5. But I remember 6 just being huge, and I didn't play Final Fantasy 6 until it was on the PlayStation. And then I played 6, 7, 8 came out, I played that, 9, and then they had the other ones as well with the Final Fantasy 6. It was 4, 5, and 6, I think. So I was able to play those. And then Game Boy came out with Final Fantasy 1 and 2. So I was able to play 2. And then later on, when I had a computer, a laptop, and emulators were becoming a thing, I was like, where's Final Fantasy 3? And it turns out there was no English translated version of Final Fantasy 3. So a buddy of mine actually translated the menu. It took him like a year. And so I played a half translated version of the original Final Fantasy 3. And then eventually someone fully translated it. But I actually never played that one. So I didn't play Final Fantasy 3 again after the emulator version until streaming on Steam and that kind of stuff. Yes, Final Fantasy 1 on the original Nintendo, yes. You didn't play Final Fantasy 1 until it came out on the Game Boy Advance? Let me tell you, the Game Boy Advance version of Final Fantasy 1 is fantastic. Mostly because of the extra bonus content they put in and allow you to go back and replay or refight the bosses from the other series. So you can fight bosses from like Final Fantasy 4 and 6 and that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then the Final Fantasy 2 on Game Boy Advance is also pretty fantastic. Because they add bonus content after that. But I don't think the bonus content really did a whole lot. But the game itself of Final Fantasy 2 on Game Boy Advance is just pretty easy and free-flowing. The original Final Fantasy 2, which I did go back and play, if you didn't use something, you lost it. Use it or lose it. So you had to specifically do things with certain characters to get them built up and maintain it throughout the game. And when you get to that second part where they bump up all the enemies, that's when you know whether you're going to be able to finish the game or not. Because if you didn't have all that set up for Final Fantasy 2, you didn't get those characters in the right place, the spells or whatever it is, you were dead. You were just going to get wiped, and it would take, you pretty much felt like the game restarted in hard mode. But Final Fantasy 2 is not an easy game in the original. Final Fantasy 1 is not a very easy game in the original either. Final Fantasy 3 though, it's really hard to screw up Final Fantasy 3 originally. You could literally turn into red mages and run through that game. And then once you get Sage and freaking Ninja, oh my god, in the original, and then Pixel Remaster was okay. But in the original, ninjas were broken. Absolutely just devastating. But it took a lot of work to get to those 2 elite classes, right? And then you get the ninja and you just absolutely devastate the Cloud of Darkness. Then 11 or 12 didn't have space? No, it didn't. 14 has space. Lots of space. 15 have space? Sort of. But not really. The Pixel Remaster of Final Fantasy 3 is probably the best version we're going to get. If they ever re-release the originals with a good translation into English, I would probably play through those again. Chaz, good afternoon. 2 and 8 are basically tied for your least favorite. I will say 2 is a bit further down the list, although I do enjoy system. 8 is one of my favorites, probably top 3. Because I enjoy the system. The junction system is so broken. You don't need 2 parties. You need 2 junction setups that you can switch between characters. Or 3 junction setups, excuse me. You need very specific things. And I think the hardest thing about Final Fantasy VIII is that all the other Final Fantasies are like, level up! 8 and 9 are try not to level at all, as much as you can. Final Fantasy IX system is much different. You can level up without it hurting you too much. In fact, leveling up is better for you in the early game. But once you hit about 25 to 30, you need to stop leveling in Final Fantasy IX. You need to get the strongest weapons for your characters, strongest in the sense of stats, and then level up because their stats were based off the stats of their weapons and armor and other accessories. So if you wanted to max out their stats and get the best stats, that's why some people play through Final Fantasy IX and they feel so weak towards the end. It's because they over-leveled early. So they're not getting as much of a stat increase as they could have because there's a threshold that you have to meet. Unless you know the Ico trick, then you can just use her and solo things. I can't believe people spent the time to level that character to 99 just to get Ico maxed out from the get-go. But yeah, abilities and skills from items. Yep. That's actually taken from sort of like Final Fantasy VII's materia system, if I remember right. So instead of it being materia, it's actually like if the materia was just built into a weapon. They sort of do that in the Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. Certain weapons will give you certain abilities, and you'll have to master them. So they kept that after that point. Final Fantasy IX was like, what do we want the systems to be? And then Final Fantasy X set up the system for Final Fantasy XII. And then from there, 13 just did nothing. And then... God, I hate 13, man! Everybody's like, it's a great game! I love 13's music. I hate 13's story. Oh, the gods are bad! Okay, we'll go help this god. That's the whole fucking story. I don't care what anybody else says. Damn it, I cussed in the first 30 minutes. But listen, Final Fantasy 13's story is got to be the weakest. It was so weak they needed 2 more games to back it up. Like, Final Fantasy X's story was pretty weak when you look at it. And they needed a second one to sort of like tie up all the loose ends-ish, sort of, not really. They just needed a way to market that they weren't just an egregious freaking Japanese company. That's all that was, really. Final Fantasy X-2 is just, all right, let's put a bunch of female characters together. See? But we're gonna put them in skimpy outfits. Which, you know, I mean, if it was fan service, it wasn't the best fan service. I mean, it was. But anyways, then you get a Final Fantasy 15 and they go back to their boys club, but like, I don't know. Final Fantasy 15 really felt like it didn't have a system. It was a mess, man. I hope Final Fantasy 16 brings back some of that skill tree goodness and, you know, there's a reason to level your characters besides just empty stats. That makes sense. And that game is stop earning XP and get bonus to the in-game currency. Nice. I love systems that make people work around the system more than just blindly brute forcing their way with levels. "13 2's a must play. I couldn't even get back through 13. Everybody says it's a must play, but I can tell you already. Let's get fishing so we can talk why fish, maybe. But I can tell you this. I didn't like 13 so much that I've avoided 13.2 because I don't want to taint what 13.2 could possibly be. What time is it? Alright. So, let's fish here because it's daytime. Warm ourselves up. Do minnows. So, Final Fantasy VIII's junction system can take a while to get your brain. I think what helped me the most with Final Fantasy VIII is actually a guide. Just one of those games that's it could just be a little bit too convoluted with what it wants you to do. Although it does a pretty good job of teaching the tutorial system. You have to take advantage of all the systems. The draw system. You also have to know what GFs work best to get you the best stuff. And that's pretty much just Quetzalcoatl with its refinement of magic. But that's it. You just refine items you find out in the world. But it's the cards that you have to do. The card system, I think, is so important to Final Fantasy VIII that you can't ignore it. If you don't like the card game, you're probably not going to like Final Fantasy VIII. Because the card game, you can literally farm what you need for magic just playing cards for the most part. In fact, some of the best stuff comes from the cards. Now, if you want to get all the cards and that kind of stuff, you eventually have to make a choice between one card or the items. But there are definitely ways to get those items and stuff. You got to know the tricks with the Angelo and all that. There's so many little things that when you get the guide and they start pointing it out, you go, oh. It just clicks a lot better. Playing through the game, you can get through it. You can get through it easily. But once you stop leveling, you start playing the card game, you take advantage of those tricks. And I showed that the last time I played through it. In fact, that's probably the best I've ever played through that game. Do not get Odin. Do not get Odin in Disc 2. That was my biggest mistake. I have no idea why I did that. That actually leveled us. I was trying to go through the game without leveling at all. We ended up being like, I think somebody got to level 17. Do not level past 20. You can kill things very quickly with the junction system, upgrading your weapons, and just devastating them with the stats you get from the junction system. I've never one-shot the boss in the castle before. I've never just had Squall go up and hit them and they died. Yeah, there's a legendary. Systems on top of systems. Basically a math game pretending to be a tactical RPG. Well, I think me and you are the same binary when it comes to thinking. How can I min-max myself casually to just absolutely wipe the floor with everything? Wipe the floor with this one skill. I think we think the same thing when you play like through a randomizer. You're hoping to get the best crap early, right? Like, it feels good to get silver arrows and 3 chests. It feels good to get the gold sword, you know, before your first dungeon. Casual min-maxers. I mean, and I think that's what's fun about Final Fantasy VIII. I mean, Final Fantasy V. Music going in. Final Fantasy V. Alright, we're gonna do. I should have grabbed some mackerel. No, we'll do it this way, so I don't have to spend money. Do it. You're a dummy. You gotta change your bait. Gonna be a long day. Alright. Otherwise, seeds feel crappy. I'm also pretty bad at games, for the most part. Some of you can't tell. Immediately get a swordfish. What a day. 2 legendaries already. How long have we been fishing? Not even 10 minutes. Probably 10 minutes. What was I just saying? Oh, I suck at video games. That's why getting the powerful stuff early is so important to me. So it's fun. One in there. I don't like this seed already. D? Is that just a rare node? Yes. Being bamboozled by the turn. The rare fish outside the orange circle. Ain't it? Rare fish. Let's go. It's gonna be so bad today. But I couldn't go another day without a show. Here for all of you. Grew up using a Game Genie. I've never had a Game Genie. I've used one or 2. Swordfish. Nice. I've used Game Genies, but they weren't mine. Oh, you rented a lot of games? I think if you want to see the game and play through it, a Game Genie isn't a bad idea, especially if you have a short period of a rental. I remember playing through Toe Jam and Earl. That took a couple rents. I never beat that Bedrock game. What was that game called? Like a caveman and you have to beat a bunch of dinosaurs. I don't think I ever beat that game. I think I got to the last level and died. But I was an older but much younger AngryZorric, and but that game was hard. But then I watched a speedrun of it and I just felt stupid. Like, oh, that's all you gotta do? And then a lot of old school games is don't get hit once. Like, it's literally better to restart the game if you get hit in some older games than to keep playing. Swordfish. Yes, what a day so far. It's up to 12. Lex, you got the glacial skiff skin? -5 points. I don't believe you. But congratulations. You want to know what I found out the other day? So we all know the Master Sword kid that came into chat, right? Swordfish! So the Master Sword kid goes, oh, you sleep at a campfire and spam A, blah, 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 right? We're gonna have to hit this. You guys remember that? He's smiling at me? Probably. There's a lot of points tucked away, and I don't like that, but we're fishing well. So the Master Sword kid was like, rest at a campfire and you spam A and you get the the thing, and I was like, okay, Pokemon kid, trying to tell me Venustoise exists. The kid wasn't lying. You take a bonfire, and we're gonna do this on our next playthrough. I'm probably gonna have to play test it first to make sure it still works, because I can't find out if it works because I didn't go look it up. You go and you put a campfire to a specific side. You light the campfire. You rest at the campfire after pointing your camera directly up at the tree, and then you literally go to sleep and you spam A really, really, really fast, and you'll just pick up the Master Sword. Bluefin tuna. Now you may be asking, Zorric, well, how do you know this? Because a buddy of mine was playing through Breath of the Wild again, and he was trying to decide how to go about whatever he was doing. And he's a glitch master. He knows how to do all the tricks. And I watched him grab a horse and ride all the way to the Lost Woods. Doing some other things along the way. And I missed some of it. I don't exactly remember what he was trying to do. And he just goes in the forest, and the next thing you know, he has the Master Sword. And I'm like, what the hell you do? So I asked him, I'm like, where'd you get that? He goes, oh, I just did the glitch. I'm like, what glitch? Like, yeah, just throw fire next to it, and then you can just pick up the Master Sword. So then I went and looked it up, and he's not lying. 3 hearts. Only did 4 shrines, and he's running around with the Master Sword. Now Binary's doing it. I banned that kid from our chat. I thought he was lying. None of you spoke up for that child. None of you said, no, he's telling the truth. Not a single one of you. You're all to blame. But he was telling me what to do, which is against the rules. Don't backseat, right? Like when people come into backseat to tell me if I want to make gold, this is what I need to do. While I'm sitting there making gold. Why? Just enjoy the fun of me sitting here making a bunch of money casual. Once you all know, right now we're over 40 gold per hour. The amount of legendaries that we caught today is phenomenal so far. Four, 5, 6. Over 10 gold, yeah. I mean, it's been 13 minutes. You know, I'll look at all this. I don't think I was here. Banned who? I'm just waiting. Well, you ban a lot of people, so I do not. When I first started streaming, I didn't want to ban anyone ever. Then people just got really bad really fast. I was like, you know what? Banning these people. Last time I said we were going to do the desert as well. We will do that today because I'm going to run out of mackerel. So we'll do night fishing here in the city for the ore fish, and then we'll do desert fishing today and see if we can get lucky. Can't stand the idea. Actually, fractals, just even tier 3 fractals are pretty profitable if you have a static good group. or the majority of your group is a static. So back when I was doing fractals a lot on the alt account, there was Punkykins and Falsey playing with me every day, and they both knew what to do, and they were both really good at the game. So the last two people really didn't matter. Swordfish. So when we did get two good or pretty great people, like fractals, even tier 4, were really easy. And extremely profitable. That's how I finished my Synod armor. Because I just had good people to play with. Same thing with strikes. Strikes can go by, boom, boom, boom. You can get them one after another, and they're extremely profitable. Problem is finding 9 other people who are good and know what they're doing and are playing well enough to make it go that fast. But you can really feel the difference when you have a knowledgeable group versus one that's not very steady on their feet. And I don't mind that. In fact, we need to do strike missions this week. I need green profit shards. Probably do that sooner rather than later, but I don't have the mindset today. Tomorrow we got to do strikes, or a strike. Or actually chewed box. Ooh. We hadn't caught a amber trout yet. Oh, that's, yeah, of course we haven't. From Arborstone. Alright, that's gonna be some money. 75 silver on top of that. I am tracking the gold. I don't think I can go near these undead without them being angry. But we'll try. They wander is the problem. My bait's gonna run out at some point. Yeah! Whoa, I didn't mean to hit that button. Okay. You have yet to even do a strike mission? There's some pretty easy ones from Icebrood Saga. I think the weekly reward, the weekly, is the easiest one. So if you just go in with a strong build, a little bit of survivability, but pretty high DPS, you'll be fine. Most groups know what they're doing. And you don't even have to do the jumping puzzle. You can wait for somebody else to do it, and then you can just teleport for free right to the boss. Oh, I mapped this map yesterday. Or not this one, the province. On my mapping character, and put in there. They're really not an extra spot. I mean, it took so long to get back, it doesn't really matter, I guess. That one's surrounded by enemies. One's safe. Alright. Gotta be careful because Stormcaller's aggro like 2,000 range. Start throwing their stuff out to hit you, put you in combat. So when we do mapping on new characters, it is pretty easy to get mapping done. There are a couple hearts that are pretty slow in province, and they're both fishing, or skiff related, I should say. But fishing not a bad idea. So I'll definitely have to set up the characters for success doing that. Might as well try to get some extra money while we're doing it. I was also going around grabbing the Yahahas yesterday while I was doing stuff. So it did take like 40 minutes for one map. But as long as I stay focused and just get the hearts done quickly, the rest of the map is pretty easy. I also just bought all the hero points. And I'm not going to do that, actually. That is a poor idea. I will skip the hero points that require fighting. But to save Dragon's Inn tokens, I should go do the maps, because some of them are just commune spots, like on this map. Oh, wait, was that a mastery point, though? Maybe not. You know what? No, I've changed my mind again. Some hero points aren't hard to do, is what I'm trying to say. But you know what? I didn't have to stop at all for them. Maybe it's not such a bad idea. And I have the currency. It only takes 320. I think there's only 32 hero points in Knit of Dragons. I think. So each character would cost me 320. It's gonna cost me like 4,000 of the currency, and I have 6,000. That's if I just use new characters. But there's some other things I have to worry about, like Dragon's End and that kind of stuff. But having all the masteries makes it pretty easy to get your defense and stuff up. Swordfish. Up to 15 swordfish. I like when you're over here, it sounds like a waterfall. There's a cliff, and I guess water's falling off of it below me. I don't know why it sounds like a waterfall. Right now, it's like coming and going. Master Blaster. Strike missions aren't terrible to get into with the amount of knowledge out there and the fact that people skip a lot of the mechanics. And as long as you stay with the group and dodge the red circles, you should be able to get to those same mechanics pretty easily. That's why there's the easy 3 and fast 5. Fast 5, you're going to need a little bit more knowledge about what you're fighting, but for the most part, it's just killing stuff. Into Dragon Strike missions, you gotta know some of the base mechanics for the most part, but it's mostly staying out of the red circles and then regrouping with your commander. Kanyang Overlook can be a little more mechanical than anything. You just have to beat the mechanics there. And then Harvest Temple, which I don't think I've ever beat. No, I haven't. Harvest Temple, it's mostly just a game of dying and learning from your death until the point where you can understand the mechanics fully. And then it is skill. It has the most skill. So you're going to have to know how to dodge waves effectively and how to keep yourself alive if you do miss a mechanic and that kind of stuff, which stresses a lot of people out. But, again, if you have a good group and people willing to teach, it makes all the difference in this game. Ah! Really need to get 200 legendary fish this week. Catch up. Hey, electric eel, saltwater fish. We only need 4 more of those. I'm not really going to look at that and be worried about it or anything like that. It's snowing all day, southern Oklahoma. The weather's going to get really weird. I also caught a sun scale striker in there. 5th one. Run out of mackerel for nighttime. Well, let's catch this one and then I'll look at my tackle. We had 60. 60. Vampire squid. Yeah, we have 19 more casts. We'll be pretty close to nighttime. As I catch more mackerel and then. Playing Power Virtuoso. That's what my guildies and I do. Mesmer it up and we play Power Virtuosos and we absolutely devastate people. We gank people so hard off of their mount, or even not. We gank them so hard that they hit the ground down. Not everybody even gets a hit. Some of us don't even come out of stealth because they can't take damage. They've lost all their health. Also, as a group, we hit so hard that when we sidecar even Zergs and we help out their DPS, we can down several people even on our own before the Zerg can react. Was never really big into the Celestial meta except for a Celestial Revenant that I used to run in Fractals. And so many people yelled at me for not being a Herald and higher level fractals that I just stopped playing it. Especially when they're sitting there dead and I'm alive, the rest of the group knows what the hell they're doing. Usually the loudest person is the one who has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Unless they really do know what they're talking about and they're trying to explain and nobody's listening. That's a rarity. Like, all you had to do was not rely on somebody else to carry you, and you would have been just fine, buddy. Because that was the other 4 people in the group mostly. We didn't trust that the other people would be carrying us. We just learned to just carry people. So our builds weren't exactly top tier meta. But they did the job. And then people would come in and expect to be carried and throw a giant fit when they're on the ground dead, as we take 20% longer or more to kill the boss because they decided to come in with a build that relied on somebody else to provide them everything else that they needed. When all they had to do is change 2 of their traits, pick off 10% of their DPS, or 12% at the time I think it was, and actually help us beat the boss. That was it, 2 traits, and they could have just been fine. Instead, they sit there and they have all the time in the world because they're dead to just yell at you. And some of them would just leave. Just leave the party. It's like, we're going to kill the boss. You're gonna get your victory. Like, I don't think video games are for you. Maybe you should go try to play a sport. Calm down, good sir, ma'am. I'm not gonna go all the way to the north. These are coming back fast enough. People are weird. They get upset at the weirdest things. I can't control what you're doing and it's making me terrible. Okay. No, this video game was real life. Like when someone joins a tier 1 fractal and they're yelling at people because they don't know how the fractal works. And I join the tier 1 fractal just for fun, you know? Like, oh, daily fractal, so I join a tier 1. I'm not looking to... Oh, goodness. Did get it. Alright, so now we're going to have extra cast here. So this should take us to nighttime. Brought us back up to, I think, 25, because we only got 16 macro out of that box. That was weak. See, the bait's self-replenishing. And so... Anyways, you're in a tier 1 fractal just doing your dailies. Sometimes you have to carry and explain things, you know, but you can do it nicely. You're like, hey, come over here, we got to do this mechanic. And it's never usually a terrible thing when you have 4 noobs with you and you're a 10-year vet just slaying the entire fractal on your own. Then you get this one guy. You have 3 noobs, you, as a 10-year vet willing to teach. And this one guy who is trying to get his daily fractal done, but didn't want to get yelled at by the other tier 4 people. And they go on this tirade when one person dies or messes up or the mechanic isn't being done. They're like yelling at the group. Get over there and do this. What are you doing? I had one guy one time go, like, I don't remember which fractal. It was the Grawl one. It was the Grawl one. The volcano. The person had missed the jump and died. And he had jumped down and got into combat with something. I think he just light on fire down below or something. I don't know. But he was in combat, and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, we're waiting on one person. And I didn't see that he had gone. And he starts yelling at me. He's like, we can't wait for somebody who doesn't know how to play the game or something like that. Something about them being a noob. And I'm like, how about you just GG? And the guy would not GG. So I voted to kick him. And the other ones kicked him. And so I threw it back up on looking for group. I was like, I'll put it back on looking for group. Guy was being a jerk the entire time. And this one player, they were bad. I'm not gonna say they weren't bad, but they were bad. That's why they were dead. But there was no reason for him to just jump down immediately either. You know, you got to be aware of what's happening. And anyways, I put it back on looking for group. He rejoins the group. He rejoins the group. Right? And I'm like, oh, here we go. This guy's gonna be a jerk, right? And then leaves. And I put it back on looking for group, and I'm like, okay, let's see if he does that again. And he joins the group again, and then leaves. I'm like, oh, he's being a troll. I put it back on looking for group a third time. Get a different person. I'm like, ah. Then I realize, after a while, when we're fighting the boss, you know, it's not going well. We're fighting the boss, it's not going well. I realize he was joining our group because he's an idiot. Kai says hello. You missed me? Only gone for 3 days. Weekend like I usually am, and yesterday I just need another day, and it's still spilling over to today. I'm here for you, Kai Sus. Whoa, I accidentally hit the button. I adjusted in my chair. We don't have time for that. I gotta run out of mackerel at some point. Our luck has run out. It looks like. Played this one a little bit differently. 8 hopping and skipping. By the way, I did finish that fractal. I spent a long time rezzing people to get them back up on their feet. That fractal is hard, even in tier 1. You don't have high DPS. It could just be not fun. Especially if he gets to a villager and he eats them. Which he did not do. Made sure of that. I was like, shh. It was the lava elementals that were taking the other people down. So I just went right after the lava elementals. After I saw them going down and we lost one. We lost the noob. The noob who didn't know how to play. They were on an elementalist. But they were squishy. Ooh. Let's go. Get tier 5 on fishing power. Fishing power's at 875. Acrylon. But as you can tell, we're not fishing out legendary fish and after legendary fish at the higher fishing power here. We're getting them at a much lower fishing power. I'm gonna hit the next 2 nodes. And then go ahead and go into the channel. It'll be dusk. Change over to shrimplings. I won't change maps just yet. Although I feel like I'm the only one on this map. During dusk and dawn, there's a higher chance to catch dusk and dawn fish, but there's also a higher chance to catch mackerel. Also, the twilight fish. Exotic fish that's pretty hard to pull out. Swordfish, yay! Alright. Still doing work. Funny enough, this will be the end of catching swordfish. You get another one. Hopefully a bluefin tuna. There we go. Can you believe someone sat for 2 hours on this map back in the day? Couldn't even catch one swordfish? Six mackerel left? I don't want to go hit that last spot then. Amberjack. Puffer fish, that's a nighttime fish. I'm okay catching that because I'm really low on them. Ran out another rare fish. I may be fishing a region soon. Depending on the region means we're gonna go after the legendary fish there too. Go ahead and hit this last spot. Last time it wasn't terrible. The bet. Be the last 3 mackerel here. We had 65 mackerel. Sorry. Is that true? right. Get the shrimplings on. Did I not already have? Big gap. That lure next. Oh, that's the minnows went over that way. I gotta be careful because if I compact, all this stuff is going to get mixed up. Good cast, and I'll need a new lure. I'm not going to carry as many lures as I have been, so our inventory should empty out. That unchained illusionist there that had to swim out and hit that ambient creature is why NPCs should not be killing ambient creatures. I don't care if it's to make the world seem more alive. Look, it's still coming after me. I'm still in combat because I had to stop for that salmon now. Which is terrible. I just don't get it. I don't get why ArenaNet does that. Why are undead just swimming into the fucking city too? That's what I want to know. There's no way there wouldn't be a guard there, right? Entirely, it's so stupid. It's immersion breaking. Makes me think about the actual coding and development of the goddamn game instead of just enjoying the game. Because it's like, why would they just let the undead swim that close to the fucking thing? Or the Naga on the other side? The only entrances into the wall are unprotected? No, that's stupid. No city in their goddamn mind would build a wall this big and any entrance would just have no security whatsoever. That undead just has to swim all the way up there.
Well, here's the sweet shop's answer.
Sure, some NPC has some ambient dialogue somewhere that explains why they let it happen. Would you get in the boat? I hit the wrong button for a second. I don't even know what I caught there. Southern shrimp tonic, a weaver, and a blowfish. Got all 4 tonics here. Amazing. Actually, I don't know if we got any out in the desert. I don't remember. It's pretty easy to get saltwater fish are done. Freshwater fish are done than it was. Sure. A sturgeon! How many of those have we got? 7. Gotten 45 legendary fish. Another sturgeon. Exotic fish aren't bad because they have a high chance to give you ambergris. Then their fillets are definitely easier to convert up. Of course, we want those legendaries. Dragonfish. Minus 1 silver, 62 copper today. You may be asking yourself, how did I lose a silver 62? We waypointed. That's what happened. But technically, caught like 8 legendary fish. I lost count again. Doing okay. Another sturgeon. Not using the right bait, so we can't catch the we're not using the right bait, so we can't catch the ascended fish. So all we can catch are blues, yellows, exotics, and legendary. No greens, no ascended. Of course, no base fish because we're not fishing in open water. By doing that, I have limited the RNG. That's why we should technically be able to fish up more legendaries. Smaller pool, greater chance. But not really. Complex. Oarfish. Alright, there's our first oarfish of the day. Bring us up to 15 total. Blowfish. Blowfish give poison crafting materials as well as their meat. And there is a chance for ambergris, I believe, but I'm not really sure. Specific fish have it, or it's all fish have a chance. I think dragonfish give either fangs or spikes. Claws. It's just fangs. They give a bunch of crafting materials as well. Which makes, this is why I like this spot so much. A bunch of crafting materials. Limited your catch. Maybe a sturgeon gives fish eggs? Or fish, I think, give fish eggs. We're gonna get a lot of fish eggs from something. And then a bunch of the saltwater and freshwater fish that we can catch, they have crafting materials. Dust, bones, venom sacs, blood, vampire fish, bloodfish, something like that. Okay, our second oarfish. There we go. Yeah, we're moving again. have to go hit this one. I have a feeling I'm like the only person on this map. You guys want to hear something fun? Do you YouTube cubes want to hear something fun about this channel? On New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, when we did our 12 plus hour bringing the New Year's stream, we hit, it was 67.67. Yeah, 67.9 hours of watch time, which was the most watch time in a single stream, of course. It was actually throughout that 24-hour period, it was like 70 some hours. But since the day went over for me, it got separated. So some of that time was cut off. So I know we definitely had like 70 some hours total, which was pretty good. My goal was trying to get 100 that day. It just didn't happen, right? The little insight there that I set those goals, but those goals aren't always achievable. And I was playing a new game. We weren't sitting here playing like Breath of the Wild or Guild Wars 2 or something like that. We were just playing Minecraft. It's a different audience, different, that kind of stuff. But last Friday, I had 65, not 67.9, but 65 point something hours of watch time. So thank you. And it was a short day. We barely, I think, hit 4 hours, if we even did. Or fish. So you guys are killing it, is what I'm saying. And watch time is everything. Oh, by the way, I think we're at the halfway point for partnership and watch time. That's why I'm not worried about it. That's why we need subs. So like and subscribe. Yeah, that was a short Guild Wars 2 stream with fishing. Subway, eat fresh. My favorite show that has ever done product placement is 30 Rock. Because they're so blatant about it. It's so stupid but so well done, and that's the intention of that show is to show just how insane like television production and companies are, and the entire thing that goes along with it, and how higher ups can be so eccentric, but they're just absolutely loony at the same time, right? But then when they had product placement for that show, they made it feel like it was such a part of the show, but you knew it wasn't. You knew it was like you know. But the Subway Eat Fresh thing, man, it gets me every time. They start talking about it. I'm just like, this is so dumb. It's so, and they're talking about product placement. Like, just straight up, like, they're not even lying to you. They're like, this is product placement. We need money. Lurk away, by day. Yeah, I still think it would be a fun idea to have advertising inside of video games. Well, hold on, before you flip your lid. And I'm not talking about, like, the advertising of, like, Subway. I'm talking about other things, like where to consume content. Or fish. And I don't want it to be like just on build. Like if you have like Cyberpunk, maybe, you know, a game like that. What I want is players to be rewarded with something simple, and then just to walk through like an area of advertisement. And even be like, oh, it's a dream world. You go in there and you just beat up a content creator's NPC, and at the end it's like, go watch them on YouTube, right? That's the way to do it. The moment you just start posting Subway and Guild Wars 2, even if it's Guild Warsified, it's too immersion breaking. But you could do it. You couldn't do it with products specifically. No? I don't know. I think it's possible for game companies to get a cut of that advertisement. Really? Verizon billboards and Energizer for his flashlight. But you see, that's a simple way to do it, though. Like drinking a can of Coke or Pepsi, you know, like in those games, when you have the right game and it can just fit in. Sometimes it just feels like weird, you know, like it just doesn't. But like just using a product, that's why I'm sad when there's like a game with chips in it. I'm like, put Doritos there. What are they doing? You know what I mean? But the thing is, a lot of that's going to be a licensing deal, right? They have to pay for that. But more companies, if they want their products in games, they should be going to, you know, game developers and be like, look, hey, you know, this much money, can you put Doritos in your game? Oh, you have to drink some kind of energizing liquid? Have you ever thought about calling it Mountain Dew? Maybe kind of mackerel. You know what I mean? Like, they're missing out on like so much free advertisement. In the sense of someone's going to pick up that game. And the thing is, it's not a commercial that just goes away. Someone's going to pick up that game 15 years from now. And there's going to be a Doritos or Mountain Dew in it. You know what I mean? Like, Alan Wake, that's genius. That advertisement doesn't go away. Every time someone plays that game, it comes back. Every time it's shown on a stream, genius. That's why these like new sports drinks or whatever coming out by like what's his face? The Dead Man Taper. You know who I'm talking about here on YouTube. Also, I guess he lets his pig go die, but I can't really blame him for his pig. He did try to find a home for the pig, but stop buying pets for clout. I didn't buy my dog for clout, although I will use him for clout. Because I love him, and he's gonna come to me no matter what. Middle of my show and be like, yo, man, I need to go outside. So you know what? I'm putting you on camera. Yeah, basically a weapon? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The well-written game. Can't just be well-written. I need to enjoy the mechanics. Actually, those type of games don't really appeal to me as much as you would think. I do like the lore, though. So you absolutely hit that on the head. I love a game with good lore. Horror games, zero interest. Watching people get scared from them, hilarious. But I wouldn't have the same reaction. I'd be able to tell when something's going to happen, more than likely. That kind of stuff. People wouldn't find it fun. But then I'm like, so what is this thing? What was that one game? Charlie Choo Choo? That was the last horror game I saw, and be like, what the frick is this train? What do you mean there's eggs? Now I'm invested. But I would never play it because I just don't find those games fun to play, you know? That's what sucks. You see a game, you know it has good writing, a good story, good lore, and then you just like, but I don't like horror games, you know? It's interesting because of the story, not so much of the jump scares and stuff. But I think a lot of people make games and they mess it up by making it really difficult or, you know, always trying to get the player. The Callisto Protocol, I think that's what happened to that game. There was too much combat. You know? The amount of people who said they didn't like that game, there's just too much. And I think same thing with Forspoken. I think the biggest problem with that game isn't that it's bad. I think it is because people just, they want mechanics over the dialogue because the game looks pretty. And you know, you get something like Breath of the Wild, you get to choose whether the silent protagonist, you know, it's the environment that makes the sound. But like, if the protagonist is sitting there talking the entire time, it can sort of break your immersion, because when we're by ourselves, rarely do we talk out loud just willy-nilly. Like if you're doing something, like when that character gets into a certain situation, then starts talking, that's good time for exposition and lore. I think they did that pretty well in Horizon Zero Dawn, is the fact that your character's so quiet until she's not. Then she has stuff to say. And it's important to know that timing. But if your character's just always talking, I can see that annoying people. Because it annoys the crap out of me in a lot of games now when like there's just talking all the time and it just starts to get to you. It's like, shut up. That's why ArenaNet added their stuff in. And I think there's a setting in Forspoken to make it less, somebody said, so they don't know why people are complaining. And I agree, if you can shut it off most of the time, then you have no leg to stand on and say the game is bad because of the dialogue. And then some people are like, I can't understand how people can play without sound. There are some games I cannot stand the sound after a while. There's something in the background, there's something, so I just shut the sound off. I play without it. I've done that. I do that even now with Final Fantasy games and stuff. The original Legend of Zelda, that dungeon music after a while, it's torture. Because it's not long and it's running on the higher end, just over and over and over. For the time, if you're stuck in a dungeon for a while, man, I'm shutting that sound off. Why A Link to the Past is so superior. The music is different. Doesn't grind you. Dead Space is awesome, but Dead Space is done well. I've watched playthroughs of Dead Space several times. From a few people. I'm just not interested in that game. I think a lot of it looks tedious for me, but at the same time, I love the idea of what Dead Space is. And I love the fact how a lot of people, the fans especially, they're just really into it. You know, and then that energy just spreads. I don't know, maybe that's why people don't like that Protocol game or whatever. Poor fish. Oh yeah, Kaisas, I'm not saying Alan Wake is a horror game. I was just saying that specific genre has great lore. Mystery games in general, what the hell happened there? Mystery games in general, just, they have to be extremely well written. It's just, I don't know. It's really hard to get away with the twists for me anymore. I think so. I've been just trained to catch the clues. Like here in Guild Wars 2, if you played through Into Dragons, you should have noticed a few things, but I don't talk about it because I don't want to ruin it for other people. I'm not talking about like spoilery, I'm absolutely 100% correct. I just don't want people thinking something is going to happen and it doesn't. But at the same time, if it does happen, I've had people get mad at me thinking I had inside information from ArenaNet and I was leaking stuff because I knew where the storyline was going and that kind of stuff, so I just stopped doing it. Same thing, I can't watch television shows with my wife or anything because I know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. It's just very obvious. And I don't know if they're writing intentionally to be that way, but there can't be a mystery for me if your foreshadowing is too heavy. I mean, you better lead me astray. You better have me so hooked on one storyline part that I think is absolutely the answer and I've totally missed the other thing, or the twist just isn't gonna work. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, so he's dead. Oh, he is, look, ah, great, yeah. Funny enough, the last thing that really got me was Fight Club. Fight Club was really good. I watched that movie like dozens of times. Edward Norton does such a great job, but all the clues are there. When you go back and watch the movie again, you're like, oh, wait a second. That's what he's talking. Like, because what they did, oh, it's so smart in that movie. What they did is they split the dialogue. So his thing happening throughout the entire movie, the dialogue is written differently, specifically at different parts because of the breakdown of the two characters. It is so well done. But other movies try to do that, and it's like they're the same person. And then it gets really frustrating because it's not new, it's not fresh. I've been trained now. I've been taught to look for the clues. And some people really love that. And I love speculating before something happens to see if I'm right. But now I just don't voice it as much. And playing certain games, especially mystery ones and things like that, like if it doesn't have really good lore or really good mechanics, I'm just going to lose interest. It's a bad superpower to have. Yeah, okay, you love the lore. Are you talking about Dead Space? Yeah, Dead Space. Really turn off the game music, not because I don't like it, because I'm more likely to draw and lose track of time. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to ever shut off my brain and just enjoy something. I think the last show series I could really do that with is The Flash. But that show isn't really written in a way to, like, you know he's going to win or overcome it or whatever. I think it's just, I don't know. I think all the characters were pretty well written in that show to be interested and invested in what growth they're going to have. But now that it's sort of jumped the shark, it's time. Like the soap opera, it's either going to be a soap opera now, so it's not as enjoyable, or you know, They're gonna have to come out with a conclusion. They want that universe to last forever, but television shows are sort of hard to keep going forever. All of them tend to come to an end at some point. Soap operas, just, they were like that daily, it's like Wheel of Fortune and things like that. Just people, they become part of the culture so much that they don't end, and people are okay with it. But we've seen in the last 10 years that people do lose enough interest that the network can't justify, hey, another oarfish. They can't justify sitting there and having the show run for another, 5-10 years because it's losing money from the last 3. So, I think shows aren't supposed to go 10 seasons. And a lot of people want them to because it fills a hole in their life. But I also think, like, if it doesn't go 10 seasons, you can rewatch it much faster and enjoy it. I think a lot of shows should end after 4 or 5 seasons, max. And that's it, they're done. But they milk it. It ruins it. February, season 9 premiere. Can we please see NCIS and SVU and those kind of shows, though? You got to think they're the new age of soap opera. Like, nobody cares that Linda has cheated on Derek, Now they're interested in who murdered that guy, and is this detective person actually going to get together with this person? Oh my God, where's their child? The bad guy has come back. It's real life anime, really. How ridiculous. These shows have gotten so ridiculous, it really feels that way. All right, we're going to have to change maps. Yeah, never ending limbo, yes. But that's okay. People need that. They need that kind of consistency. I just think they try to do it with all shows, and it just, they just, Those crime shows are so unrealistic. Yeah. And the funny thing is there's so much crime, they have all the material to go on forever. Sitcoms are 7 to 8 seasons. I think 6 for me. A lot of shows by the 6th season, everything can be wrapped up and it can end on a high note. I think that's the problem. They're not ending on a high note. When you get to 7 or 8 seasons, what ends up happening a lot of times is a lot of characters start getting replaced because we're talking 7-8 years. And people, the show has gotten so big. Like, think Steve Carell, right? In The Office, he was doing movies and things, and it got so busy he had to leave The Office. And I think that really hurt the show. And that was it. For The Office. But that's what they need to try to avoid is... Okay, we'll do it that way. They need to avoid is getting to that point where your talent, aka your actors, are getting pulled away from the project to the point where they have to leave. Or they get disinterested, which is a lot of times season 6 is where they're like, okay, this is it. This is my exit point. When you start replacing characters, it starts to feel like a different show, and that can not rub people the right way. I hope they start doing that more, Thomas, where they have an end in sight. And I really hope the executives don't just invest in a certain amount of episodes, they start investing in the whole package. So we can see things get a conclusion and things don't feel rushed. So the writers can sit down and be like, this is how fast this has to move. And if they want extra episodes, then they can be like, look, can you do 5 more episodes next season? And then the writers can slow down things then, you know? At 70 show. Which season was it when Eric left? Yeah, but that was the writer's fault, man. They were so invested in the other characters that their main character died. Kind of a high note for you. Again, that show should have only been so long. They really just kept trying to milk it. The MASH finale? Yeah, when you end your show, you need to end your show freaking fireworks, bells, whistles, the whole orchestra. Bringing back characters. Yeah, when you get to the final season, full hit the throttle, let's go. You know? I don't care if it's 5 episodes just to finish off the story or freaking 20. I better be seeing people from season 1 returning and helping or making funny or just, you know, being like, I'm still alive. All of it. It's too many sad. Oh yeah, the mouse was taking over there. My boat didn't stop. Yeah, but Ashton Kutcher really took off in the stream. That's why he's able to marry Demi Moore. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he was a very likable actor. But anyhow, I think the same thing happened to Arrow, right? The actor was like, I don't want to keep playing this character forever. You know, like, it's like, this has to end. Moving on. I think in that 70s show, it was season 6. That's when the show felt really slow for me, I think. Like, it had seasons like 2, 3, and 4, just, they move fast because they're just fun. Oh yeah, Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, that's why he's so good at playing an idiot. The people who play idiots the best are usually really smart. Because they know the nuances of like how the human mind is thinking and that kind of thing. Yeah, he seems like a pretty good guy. I don't know him, so I can't sit here and be like, yeah, Ashton Kutcher's the best. Still might be doing lines of coke in the bathroom. I don't know. You know, you know what I mean? Great organizations, but my favorite is how dumb hosts can be. So when you get into a television show and they're asking questions of a celebrity, and the celebrity is actually a genius, right? They've gone to school, got the gotten the degrees, and they say something. How's it like to play a character that is so much smarter than you? She's a neuroscientist. I don't know what level of smart you're talking about. Do a little bit of research. Even I knew that from a meme. Holy hell. Get on the internet and Google someone before you freaking just ask generic questions. Don't get fancy with what you're trying to say. Smarter than them? You know the person. Like, you know the person, you know Ashton Kutcher's played Kelso or whatever, you'd be like, man, how's it feel to be like playing yourself as a joke? You got something there, okay, funny, haha. But the moment you try to like talk down to someone, it's like, that's weird. That 90s show? Comedy bits from Laurel and Hardy were his. Yeah. You gotta have a certain mindset going into roles, but like Tina Fey, I think, is what revitalized SNL, in all honesty. And then most of the projects she was involved with were successful. And I think she's just a good visionary that can get it on paper. And I think that's extremely important to make a successful show. That's why I think Henry Cavill being, in The Witcher was so important to the show. And now the writers are fighting him. I just don't see that show staying successful. And I do feel like the show was slowing down, but I guarantee it's because he was fighting to get the character in the right place versus them just... Man, I just don't know how to say it in a way that's nice, but in all honesty, you got to find the right people for the job. And yeah, they also have to sort of bring it down closer to the most common denominator, right? Not everybody's played the games or read the books, but at the same time, like, there's a fandom that you have to look out for, and they're going to be driving word of mouth, you know? So if Henry was playing that character terribly, that stuff over there is distracting. If he was playing that character terribly, like, there would have been less interest in whether it was going to be a good show or not, because a lot of people who are the fans would have been like, he's a terrible whatever. Because when I first saw a picture of him, I was like, yeah. I was like, it looks like Henry Cavill. But then you start watching the show and he just disappears into the character. And it's just so much better to see it than what they were trying to advertise and hype it up with. And I don't know. I think if you're good at what you do, same thing. Iron Man would not be Iron Man without that great casting. Robert Downey Jr. I'm just saying. He is Iron Man and forever will be. He absorbed that character. He became that character, brought it to life. Same thing with Captain America. I think it's a great portrayal. You just have someone... Daredevil. Oh my goodness. Perfect casting. Black Panther, but we lost Chadwick. God. Cancer is stupid. I hate it. Should have a cure by now. Anyhow. Played the characters perfect. Marvel did a pretty good job with the casting. Kind of about this one. Hit the wall. Marvel did a pretty great job with the casting. After a while, you start running out of actors, though, so. Couldn't afford Edward Norton, the Hulk. And I liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Okay? I think the newest Spider-Man is pretty spot on, but Andrew Garfield's, I liked the more science-y Spider-Man. And I liked the fact that he felt sort of lonerish, and he portrayed a Spider-Man that wasn't just, you know, I'm a whiny little nerd. No, he played that outcast nerd, you know? Didn't see, Keanu Reeves is a different human being. That man shows up in video games. Just shows up. Like, hey, you need me in your video game? I want to be that guy. I want to be famous for one reason. Just to show up in people's video games. Be like, hey, do you need me to, you know, just show up? I want to pull the Tom Hanks, but for video games. You know what I'm talking about. You know? When Tom Hanks shows up, everybody stops and listens. He just has that kind of star power, that kind of quality, you know? Keanu Reeves, exactly the same way, but it's just different, you know? When he shows up, you listen. You're like, what's he doing? He's eating a sandwich and he looks sad? Yeah, I want to see that meme. What's wrong? And then he goes into an interview and they're like, so what's happening there? And he's like, I'm just eating a sandwich. Like, I'm not thinking about anything. I was just eating a sandwich. You know, like, but people were like, work of art, you know? You love Spider-Man No Way Home? I've been able to watch a Marvel, in fact, I haven't been able to watch many movies. I've been going back and watching old movies. Graviton? Yeah, I'm not in casting. There's a weakness for me. Where would this person be good for a character? No idea. I'd have to see him do it. You know? After that point, I would have an idea. Wonder what it would take to get a good Star Wars movie. The television series things or whatever they're doing are pretty good. The Mandalorian was really well liked. But I want a Star Wars movie that freaking just... I don't want the soap opera-ness to it. I want it like the video game, where people are just going around beating the crap out of each other throughout the entire thing. I don't want that kind of action. I don't want the Empire and blah, blah, blah always showing up. I just want it to be bad guy versus good guys just beating the crap out of each other Freaking lightsaber duel. I want to see a Jedi that is not a Jedi or a Sith. I just want to see somebody who has control over the Force, not giving a crap, and just absolutely ruining the bad guy's day. I want a Wild West level of I'm after something, I'm going to get it, bad guys have it, I'm going to go take it from them, and then just everybody else is just sort of along for the ride. I don't want a coming of age story. I don't want an escort mission. I don't want a mentor dying. I just want somebody going through, kicking ass, not even giving a crap about the names. The Gray Force users? I just want to see somebody absolutely just kick ass with lightsabers. And just have a freaking light show. Not saying they don't do that. I'm just saying I want somebody absolutely mastered in the art of just beating the tar out of people. Just a completely different style of lightsaber fighting. But I want them to be savage AF. Like I'm not here to spend 30 minutes fighting you, watching these two lightsabers go pew pew pew, right, and hit each other and not. No, I'm just gonna throw this lightsaber and cut people in half, like a video game. Just absolutely, I'm tired of this crap. I want someone with those powers just to be done with it, you know? Like when the Empire shows up, it's a mistake for the Empire to even think they should have showed up. I want the Sith Lord to be like, oh shit, 2 seconds into the fight. I don't need a Darth Vader, and as cool as Darth Vader is, I need a bad guy being a bad guy until the good guy finally meets him and just says, this is it. That's the kind of movie I need from Star Wars. I don't need them just to win. I need them to absolutely dominate and destroy what's in front of them. And you can still have your heart-to-heart moments and things like that. Don't get me wrong. Because you need people to connect with the character. But I want a hero that is just brutal in the Star Wars universe and is not even there to restore order or anything. I don't want any of that. I don't even want the politics. I want the politicians to run for their lives. I want them to be like, we're not touching that. Wherever the hell that is, let's leave them alone. That's what I want. There's only the Force. I want a Jedi in trouble, and this guy just shows up, does what the Jedi can't do. Still has the emotions and everything, but their emotion is, I'm gonna kick your ass. I want them to be upset every single time they kill people because they weren't a challenge. I want them to be like, you know, just cut down the army, blow the stuff up, and then when it's all said and done, be like, that's it? This is all you brought today. I want God mode turned on. Hey, an oarfish. It's been a while. I want, what's his face? Who did the Transformer movies? Why can't I think of his name? That's how far my brain has gone today. I can't even think of his name. I want that level of nonsense. And then I watch Star Wars again. I mean, I would watch The Mandalorian, don't get me wrong, but I just don't have access. One Punch Man? No! Because I want a guy that is calculated. I want the freaking... I want the, Trying to think of a movie. I want The Equalizer, you know? You know, that kind of movie, bad guy. All right. I want Taken, okay? I want one guy, one man army going after something stupid. And everybody going, I want him on my side, but he's on nobody's side. He doesn't give a shit about nothing except what he needs. I want someone to come in and kill his dog, John Wick style, and him just go, you mother... And he just goes and kills them. Mad Max. I want all of that. Roll into some freak of a Jedi that isn't. Heck, I even want his eyes to glow yellow or red. I want him to come out of the darkness in a black robe and someone be like, who the hell is this guy? And he just starts killing people. You took my lightsaber! Take this lightsaber! Where's my lightsaber? I want him to go in through asking that question. Where's my lightsaber? Then it turns out at the end it's something really sad. Like he was married for like 2 decades, had 3 kids. But somebody came and took his lightsaber and killed his family. Turns out they were a Jedi. Some weird crap. And they thought they killed him.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But he survived. His memories were wiped. And all he remembers is that he needs to get that lightsaber. And it's his lightsaber. But they tell him it's somebody else's lightsaber. Man, I'm writing the story! But he doesn't remember anything until, like, right at the end. He gets the lightsaber. And then it turns out he killed his family. Holy crap! The twist is there, too. Turns out that he was supposed to be a Sith Lord, and he fought it. He fought against it hard. I'm here, Disney! Almost every day. Send me an email. I'll write the whole goddamn thing. I'll tell you exactly what the action sequence needs to be. Mel Gibson from Payback. Freaking Punisher of Jedis. That's what I need. Oh, it's daytime. Not yet. It's still dawn. Let's go ahead and fish this. We're up to 22 oarfish, so we got 7 oarfish. Not too bad. We'll go to the desert now. Use up those scorpions. We have so many scorpions because we haven't gone back out to the desert in some time. The Emperor Granddaughter plotline was the best ever? I have no idea what you're talking about. Brought him back? Oh, wow. Listen, I don't need nonsense story writing. I just need a character who does. Or does not. I want a character just using the Force on people because it's funny. You know when you get into one of those places where like there's people on the bridge, I just want him to throw them off the bridge to get him out of his way so he can go kill somebody else. All right? I want him to take a room of lightsabers and just absolutely just kill some machine that's supposed to be indestructible. But he's just so relentless. I want him to intentionally cut a ship in half. So everybody goes flying out of it. I want him to get in a space battle, and instead of shooting the ships out of the sky, pew, 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 pew. I want him just to be like, blow up the ship. Why did they never do that? And crush the engine. You're nothing now. Like, it just never happened. It always blew my mind. Like, you have the Force, just push it into the other one. Instead, they're using the Force to shoot the ship, and I'm just like, this is stupid. Just shove them into each other. The inertia will take care of the rest. Idiots. I want a Jedi scientist. People to question their sanity when they're fighting him. Like, why are we fighting this guy? This is stupid. What are you looking for? I'll help you. One of the Star Wars Vision stories, they sort of do that. Now, I'm telling you, most of the Star Wars story, I'm not gonna make friends here, but I'm gonna say straight up, most of the Star Wars stories, just in general, even the beginning ones, are absolute nonsense. Jedis can't have emotion. Okay, Anakin. Like, the idea of Jedis is fantastic, but it is absolutely terrible. It is like, it's the priest whipping the children type of thing, and it's just weird. And while, like, in our world, we can relate to it, like oppression and becoming the white knight of the world. My problem with Jedis is that they should be able to do these things, because you should be able to have powers without losing your emotions. But every single movie in Star Wars, the Jedis lose control at some point of their emotions. Heck, when Obi-Wan pretty much kills Anakin, right? They're fighting. He shows despair. He shows almost anger at Anakin for becoming what he becomes, and it makes him the better fighter. It pushes Anakin all the way to the edge because he's showing emotion too. He doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't want to kill him. But the thing is, if that's so true, he should have also been less of a fighter, but it made him better. It gives him the edge. And then, I know for a fact in The Mandalorian, because I saw the clip, that the little baby Yoda has to choose between going back and being with someone he cares about or becoming a Jedi. And I'm like, that's stupid. Oh, yes. That happened a lot back in the day. Absolutes only being a Sith thing. Yeah, they're trying to make it so polarizing, but that's why we need the guy in the gray area. Who's like, no, it's all a tool. Heck, that guy doesn't even have to be the main character. He just has to be just a total badass that shows up. Heck, the protagonist could be trying to head the dude off and trying to solve peace long before this guy even shows up. But then they're just gonna turn it into another, The Empire Strikes Back. Like, oh God. Blah, it's just vomit writing. I want them to just to retcon everything with that guy too. Well, how's he able to do this? Nobody freaking knows, okay? That's what's so great. You don't need the mystery solved. We don't need the lore spelt out to us and told in a freaking fancy way. No, this guy is denying the grain. He's going against it. Like, none of this makes sense. So I'm gonna make it make sense by brute forcing my way through this situation. All I know is I have a goal and I'm gonna reach it. Holy crap, a giant paddlefish? All right, there's our first fish out here. Our third one of those. Empire Strikes Back is the best episode. That's why they can't redo it. Don't do the storyline again. Maybe that's the problem with Star Wars. They keep trying to do the same crap. Over and over. Trying to get a different result. What's so good about the writing with a character like that? There's always like this moral ground, right? Like, should I be doing the things I'm doing? And what's great is when you write other characters around that type of thing, you get a really good story. Like, you get this person to question themselves, and you also get twists out of it. Like, in a moment when he should be just do the thing that he's been doing, he won't, and that could cause friction down the line. But by becoming different, actually, he overcomes the enemy in a different way, and still kills him. Or lets the enemy kill himself instead of him having to do it. You know? It's gonna destroy both the Empire and the Alliance. But somebody once pointed out to me, if you just clone the same bad soldier, all you're doing is making fodder. You might as well just go back to the droids. You know? Stormtroopers don't make sense. And I guess in the newer movies, it's not just clones or whatever. Actually recruited. That's what I want to see. I just want to see the guy just absolutely just wreck people and prove Jedi's wrong all at the same time. I want him to be what Luke Skywalker should have become. The best Jedi. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna beat the crap out of everything, and then tell people, knock it off. What the Avatar should be in Avatar, the Last Airbender. Because those avatars were all idiots. Sometimes you just have to be the bad guy. For the right reasons. That's what I want to see. Okay. That undersea worm going to aggro. Question. This is one of them I think that can attack you. Get too close. Bounty hunter with... Yeah. Know who the best character was in Star Wars? Han Solo. That was the best character in Star Wars. Wanna know why? Not only did that guy freaking end up with a Jedi. He was the only one going around questioning shit and just firing his gun anytime he got a chance. Genius! He's like, yo, people. Why are we talking about this? Let's just get it done. Also, he went and found like the best sidekick ever, a Chewbacca. All right. He's like, Chewie, let's go. Let's go be cool. All right. Gets to this ship, whether it's stolen or not, who knows? He's not wrong, and he has aim. You know, like, I think I know, like, the reason why stormtroopers were so bad at their aim. It's their stupid helmet that they're wearing. Because anytime you see the rebels fighting, they're either outnumbered, outgunned, or there's Darth Vader. You know, like, well, this sucks. Come back to that one. Yeah. I need to make a circle here. What's that? Eight and three. 8 and 3. Man, fishing is so easy. So relaxing. Desert still isn't providing me legendaries. I mean, we've only caught 24. The south at the other side of this. That salmon in combat with. I think the desert just has too much RNG. Because even when we're fishing coastal fish in the city, I just don't understand how they're making as much money as they do out here. But even when you're doing coastal fish, you have 2/3 of the RNG table that you would have out here, and then less because you can't catch everything during the daytime. I do have all these scorpions. Mud skipper. Don't need any more of those for the time being. The 90 dragonfish. I saw the bobber. I don't know why people have to fish right on top of your bobber. A Vundu! Okay, feeling good. Feeling good. Can I get another Vundu? And carp. Awesome. Amelia Clark using her character. What? What am I gonna say? I don't know. I don't know that character very well. Yeah, they're gonna make all the series. Hey, giant paddlefish. Nice. 3. Darth Maul. I don't think any of the Sith Lords really get a good shake besides Vader. That's because most of them just die. Didn't they kill off, like, a really powerful bounty hunter in The Mandalorian or something, too? I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it, but I've heard whisperings of stuff, like certain characters dying that are really badass. Running out of villains. I think they did. That's the problem with those shows. Like, writers, stop killing off the villains. Have the villains be smart enough to know when they're outmatched. Or have somebody save them. The heroes always get saved, but the villains rarely get, you know. I guess they do get resurrected sometimes, but I'm talking more like the hero shot him and thought they killed him, but no, they were actually savable by some, like, medical doctor. I don't know if that makes sense, but, like, I'm tired of villains just dying out. Boba Fett killed him? Boba Fett's old in that series, isn't he? Because it's after... After the what is it? Third movie? Because Luke Skywalker is trying to build his school or whatever. It's already established. How's Boba Fett beating anyone? these two were that close together. Did I miss this one? Oh. Can I reach it from here? Nope. I am good at video games. JK, because if you were here earlier, you heard me say I'm not good at video games. Next Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday, week from today, I need to have a really early show because the Lunar New Year is going to be ending. I'll double check on Monday night, and if it doesn't work out, then I have to record it. But I want to open all the envelopes and stuff, and have a big sort of like a big day of just earning gold, if that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is take all the laurels, ecto and stuff from the other accounts and lower tier crafting materials that I need, anything that I need, sort of condense it and transfer it to the main account here, and we'll have a day of just opening and converting stuff. And then maybe some fishing. That's what I want next Tuesday to be. Maybe we'll get an announcement or something then about whatever. Alright, it's putting me in the order of rainbows. So we're missing one tonic. Yeah, we're missing the purple one. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. The purple one. This area design is nice. Path of Fire is a really pretty expansion. With all the purples and yellows. They started using that nice saturation of color. Greens and the blues. Yeah, Cantha really took it to the next level with that. And those bright colors on each other. Alright. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Need to use the restroom. BRB! Enjoy the music. Hold on, that is not the break screen. Enjoy the music. Cutting into my farm time, I tell you. Alright, let's get back to it. I do this for like at least another half hour here. I don't know if take us to the night time or whatever, but yeah, I think we're what, 3 legendary fish? Got a good amount of legendary fish today. Not the best, mostly because we've come to the desert and not much is happening. We're at 56 legendaries. 7. Having a problem getting these giant paddlefish last time. Up to 5 of those. We are at negative 61 copper per hour because we've still only got a silver 63 to our name. Gotten 3 spirit shards. Oh, the thunder shrimp tonic is worth something. 9 copper. Now that number isn't true. I just want to point it out again. That if I broke down all these legendary fish, we get tons of things worth a gold, 70 silver at least. You know, minus taxes. So we're probably still pushing easily 15 plus gold per hour. I think. Salmon can beat the shark. Interesting. When I do the final numbers of how many fish I caught, I'll add it all up. And I won't be able to tell you exactly how many casts it would take to get 1,400 legendary fish. But I will tell you at least, the number at least, that I had to cast to catch them. And it's going to be thousands. We've already done hundreds upon hundreds of casts already. But I think when I did a stack, it was like 3,000 something casts. So we could do over 10,000 casts. We probably will, or more, easily get this done. But I'm mostly just going to be counting the fish. Trophy stuff is going to be sold. All this gets sold down here. I just don't have room to keep all the trophy stuff right now. When I have a little less bait and lures, I'll take a look at it. That's pretty much the gold we're going to be earning when we fish until we convert all the fish. Gilded Louch. The exotic fish here in the desert are going to be caught more often because there's more of them to catch. Actually surprised we haven't caught a ascended fish yet, I don't think. We're catching a lot of rares and exotics, which is not terrible. Of course, you're going to have a lot of greens, but I see the desert is definitely a lot of rares and exotics. Interesting. We're only at 4 legendaries since we came out of here. The other thing I'm keeping is the watertight bags and the partially chewed boxes. For now. They did white lanterns as well. I wonder if that's a thing? At least their boat isn't pitch black. I don't know. I accidentally hit the F key there. Don't ask why. We did hit the 50 gold per day mark for the first 2 weeks of when I started streaming and actually talking about. So I made over 700 gold over 2 weeks. And that's 50 gold a day. I was hoping to get closer to 1,000 gold. 1,000 gold in a 2-week period would mean we could finish this in 4 months. 4 months? 3 months. Hold on. It's not even math. It's 6 months. If we finish in 6 months anyways. What was it? 1,000 gold? Dang it, I don't know. Listen. It's gonna take us about 6 months to get this done. 6 months of play. Of earning 50 gold a day. Someone on Twitter asked me how long I was playing per day. There's an ascended fish. I was playing a day, and the answer to that is about 3.5 hours on average. My playtime was closing in on just below 3 hours, I think, before Into Dragons came out. And then it shot back up to like 3 hours and like 36 minutes. And slowly started falling again, and has slowly started to go back up a little bit. But I used to spend on average, back in my heyday, 5 hours a day. I'm having a problem. I can focus on this map. Now it's over 4 hours for the longest time. Toilet paper pandemic? Oh, when humans do stupid things? Yeah, humans have done that a lot throughout history. And then a lot of people laughed in bidet. Like if you run out of toilet paper, you have this thing. You're not gonna believe it. It's called soap and water. And a lot of people have this other thing. What's that called? A shower? I worry because I feel like those would be the same people who would shit themselves and then try to clean it up with toilet paper. Like, you can wipe some of it up, but you need to get in the shower, buddy. It'll stink all day. Yeah, people being forced to stay home. And they need toilet paper. That's it. I remember when we went to the store, we needed paper towels and just some toilet paper. And that lady gave us a dirty look. But I'm like, I'm not gonna wipe my ass with a paper towel before I would jump in the shower to clean myself. Like, come on now. Paper towel hurts. Ain't nobody feeling fresh from that. Yeah, you can ask me any question about me having COVID. I'll happily answer it. Most of it's don't get COVID. A bidet shower? It's just called a bidet. Shoots water at your butthole. I actually have no idea how to use a bidet. I've seen them. I've peed in them. But I've never taken in the number 2. Oh, yeah. Well, that's usually attached to the bidet. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. No. You can hook that up to any toilet. But there is the bidet that shoots water at your butthole. And then there's usually an attachment to some of them, if you get the deluxe version, of that sprayer. Of, I've really messed myself up here. I'm gonna need some more work. And it just goes... But you know what else? You know where else you can usually do that? Your goddamn shower. Everybody's always like treating their shower as like the most sanitary place in the entire house. You know? 4 different boats. I love it. Got COVID right, plus a sinus infection, one of the same at this point. Hold on, giant paddlefish, look. Did it do anything to your sense of taste? Yes. I lost most of my taste, but I lost all of my smell. I could still taste things, but it didn't taste right because I didn't have my smell. Like, I could still taste gingerbread Mountain Dew, but it just wasn't the same until it came back. Unless it's like really cold. Okay. So, if you don't have taste or smell, or you're missing one or the other, it's going to affect how things are going to be. My big suggestion to keep food interesting, because that's a very important thing, is sugar, which you might be trying to avoid, which is sort of sucky, spice, and sensation of temperature. So when it's cold, the atoms are more condensed to allow the molecules to also be more condensed. So the taste buds that aren't affected by the inflammation caused by the COVID, you're probably able to taste some of that. But more than likely, anything acidic like tomatoes or sugary like chocolate, you're going to be able to still taste it because your body is in tune with those things through other sensory stuff in your mouth. In fact, COVID has sort of showed what your limits of tasting and smelling are. The sinus infection, it's one of the same. So if you're fighting the sinus infection and you have COVID, it doesn't really matter. You need to get rid of both. And I highly suggest rest, drinking plenty of fluids, and packing yourself full of vitamin C. And if your temperature is getting too high, I would take some ibuprofen. Do not take Tylenol unless directed by a doctor. Another giant paddlefish. The reason I say that is because people are out there taking Tylenol to reduce their fever, and that isn't going to do as well as the ibuprofen's going to do, because COVID is an inflammatory virus. Tylenol is more for aches and pains and for kids. But when you're an adult, ibuprofen goes a long way. And you can do that naturally with tea and, fish oil and fish, flaxseed oil, curcumin, turmeric. Eat black pepper as well. Dr. Dane, you're on it. If your smell comes back from getting rid of your sinus infection might have saved your smell. Tylenol for headache, that's a good time to use Tylenol. But COVID is an inflammatory disease. So it'll damage your nerves, your brain, your muscles, your blood vessels, your heart, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't feel that way, but that's what it's doing. It's causing inflammation in your body. Now, why it does that, I don't know. But from everything I've read, seen, talked about with other people, people in the field, it's the inflammation that hurts you the most. And it could also cause enough nerve damage that you're going to have some after effects. Nobody who has had COVID has completely recovered from COVID. I've had when I sleep, I get the ague and crusties more often. I get it throughout the day because my sinuses still haven't recovered. My boogers are the biggest thing. And I know this stuff is gross, but my boogers, hey, marble bungfish. They're gooey white boogers, meaning there's a lot of white blood cells, and there's a constant need for moisture in my nose, and it just hasn't gone away. And then when the exhaustion and fatigue set in, it's because my body's like, well, we're going to have to repair this stuff. And, yeah, you just get tired. All your B vitamin stores get pulled out. Your body starts fighting the inflammation. Repairing nerves is a lot of energy. So I guess in the coming years, they're going to find out that the virus embeds itself and your body keeps fighting and producing excess antibodies until you satisfy. I wonder if that vaccine is wearing off, and that's why I'm feeling like the way I am. I got that booster shot 4 months ago almost now. Now it's going woo. I don't know why they're charging for booster shots, but they usually, so what I found out, they did the same thing. They charged me. That was a Bundu. The reason why they charged me for the booster shots is trying to get money from my insurance company. I ended up not having to pay for any of my booster shots. And they charged me like $55 per booster that I got. And I was like, what? And then somebody told me, oh, they're just trying to price gouge your insurance. They literally charge everything, and then they're like, yeah, that'll be $40. Vitamin waters? Vitamin waters are terrible for you. Stop drinking those. Galka, do not drink vitamin water. Hey, Giant Paddlefish, do not believe in the nonsense of vitamin water. My wife falls for that crap. It's not good for you. It makes you gain weight, and they hide crap in there, and it doesn't even have to have the vitamins on the label. It's like Gatorade. Gatorade does not hydrate you. Unless you're dehydrated completely, I guess. Too late? Oh, no. It's actually better to drink lots of water and supplement. Take your supplements. But even then, supplements are a lie, too. So, I mean, I guess drink your poison however you wish. Because I take supplements and, like, they can put anything on that label because nothing's really proven. But vitamin water, biggest ripoff I've seen. Same thing with alkaline water. It doesn't once it hits your stomach, like there's no alkaline. Your stomach's gonna produce acid. What do you think happens to the water? It's not how it works. You have to eat specific things to change your pH levels, and you don't want to do that because your body's always searching for that one specific pH level, because if it goes too far up, you're going to die. Your body can't function with a different pH level. You're not getting more acidic or base. It just doesn't work that way. And even if it was a little bit, I think it does something else. It makes your stomach work better or something, maybe. Get a little more nutrients in your system. Vitamin water's the new Sobe? Yeah. I mean, but don't get me wrong. I guess if you don't get any of those vitamins, it's better than nothing. Same thing, like, I always try to point out to people, you go to get spinach, right? You go eat that spinach. You're going to have to eat that entire bag to get what you think you're going to get out of it. Most of what you're going to get is, what, vitamin K? It's always fun when I read the label on a bag of spinach, the serving size. The whole goddamn bag! It's all marketing. But here's the other thing. If you like vitamin water, it brings you happiness, keep drinking it. Because I'm gonna say this, placebo is a huge part of our life. Alright? And if you don't believe anything what I just said, good. Because I'd rather you drink the vitamin water and get something versus you not get that stuff at all. But the big problem with supplements and vitamins and stuff packed full of like B vitamins is it makes us fatter as people, because our body might want to store that or figure out a way to store that, which can slow down our metabolisms too, because our body wants to take more. So you just got to be careful of that kind of stuff. But the always the key word that you always hear, moderation. I used to drink Gatorade when I was a kid all the time, but it turns out no. You spent your money on it? Me too. I do it all the time. Add a little salt and sugar to water and you pretty much have Gatorade? Yeah. I mean, without the flavor. But you know what you get? Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid with a little salt in it. There you go. I mean, don't add a whole cup of sugar like I know you're all gonna do. Yeah, it's Gatorade. Powerade. The stuff will help you if you're out of the stuff. But usually if you're eating a good diet, you don't need that excess. A multivitamin shouldn't even be eaten every day. Hey, another Vundu. Multivitamin shouldn't even be eaten every day. You should not be supplementing all the time. You should be able to take breaks from your supplements. Unless you have health problems like me, then you're gonna need fish oil. You're gonna need those omega-3s, omega-6s, turmeric, stuff that actually works. I have to take those every day because if I don't, then I have to take more ibuprofen, and ibuprofen isn't good for your kidneys. So on and so forth. The only three-way punch I've ever found for stuff to work is a little bit of ibuprofen with those two supplements. It makes a huge difference in my day, whether my hands are going to be sore or whatever. But again, that took a long time to figure that out. And it may not work for other people. Placebo effect is the best effect. Because here's the thing. Well, unless it's costing you a lot of money. But here's the thing. Happiness is placebo sometimes. But when you are actually sick and hurt and things, placebo only works so much. And it works the other way around too. You may be thinking something's doing harm, and it's actually the placebo effect causing you to feel sick or whatever towards something. So, how do we overcome that? Hypnosis. I mean, it's the only way. From what I've read. Hypnosis isn't real. Yes, it is. Hypnosis is real. And it works. It's just expensive because they can destroy your mind. You think I'm kidding? Those kids playing around in college with their psychology course and learning how to hypnotize people? Woo! You get hypnotized every day. You just don't know it. Advertisements and stuff, putting that stuff in your subconscious. Oh yeah, that's why you go to that store and you look at those Doritos and you go, I don't need them, but I'm a gamer. Watered down Kool-Aid? Because it is. You're not wrong. Alright, this daytime is almost over. Ibuprofen with alcohol? Don't drink alcohol. If you have to take medication of any sort, alcohol is like the ethanol that gets in your blood will mess up all your systems. So if you want a balanced, stabilized health, you have to either drink alcohol and not take medications, or just take the medications. There's just no way around it. A lot of people drink alcohol with medications. Woo! That person go. Hypnotism comes from many different forms. It's a tricked mind just being tricked further. Optical illusions are a form of hypnosis. Really think about it. Don't let a psychologist professional hear me say that, though. They'll throw a freaking hissy fit. No, that's not how it works, Zorric. I know, okay? But I really do feel like our brain is being tricked by something somebody drew, okay? You stare at it for like 6 minutes, you lose your time. You're like, what happened? I don't know. You committed murder, fraud. It got you. Video games are a type of hypnosis. I think video games are a form of dopamine. That's the big thing about life, is we do things that make us feel better, and our brain is really easy to please, believe it or not. Takes a lot of something before you don't like it anymore. That's because your brain just can't get the same level of high. Hey, another Vundu. No, not receiving enough video to maintain. That's okay. I don't know why I'm dropping so many frames, but it's just because it's cold outside, I think. All right, I'm gonna hit one more spot, one more cast, since of another node, and then gotta tally up what we got. We made some headway today. Screen of flashing images makes you happy? Well, it's a little more than that. It's the interaction. It's the sound, music, sound effects. It's the stimulus of your brain, right? The number goes up. Solving puzzles. Your brain loves to solve the puzzles of life and things. Your brain likes to think. Some people don't believe that. Hey, another Vundu. All that kind of stuff. So when you play a video game, that dopamine just woo. Yes, keep doing that. We have questions. We're getting answers. Let's go. Number go up. Ding it, ding ding ding. All right, Mud Skipper. I almost sort of want to do that last one. That's a full rotation. Okay, no, this will be the last node. Now will be the last node. You can all do me a favor and hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Don't ask for much. Don't even ask for your money anymore. Remember when I was like, sub? I don't even ask for that kind of sub. I'm just asking you for a free thumbs up and a free hit the subscribe button. Pushing for partner, okay? You can help me out with that. I'd appreciate it. Because then I don't ask for your money. YouTube will just pay me. Not a whole lot, unless I start making some killer vids, shorts. I think it's next month we're gonna see what all that is. They adjust it in any way. But we get one more. Those last few legendaries there made a big hey, a clawfish. We caught one almost every day, I think. Been fishing. Okay, let me go ahead and sell the junk. I'm gonna make a little bit of gold there. What was this other thing? Oh, the pistol. We won't need in the future. So we have 2 Melandru's lurkers. We caught one of those today. 11 Vundus. Got many of those today. Giant paddlefish. Many of those today. 5 blue tuna, 16 swordfish, and 22 oarfish. Oarfish, again, just really easy to catch. That's 13, 21, 26, 42, 64 legendary fish. Today we did work. 64 legendary fish is about 80 some gold. So, nice. But we could get a little more than that out of them. Sometimes you get 2 ambergris out of a legendary. But more importantly, we're going to be getting a lot of ascended fillets. And speaking of that, we have 8 marbled lungfish. So we doubled the number of that. We got some sturgeon today, some golden moss here. We caught an amber trout. Some gilded loaches. I think that's how you say that. We're only one of the tonics away from having all 6. Interesting. And then we got a ton of greens today. More blowfish. We're at 164, so we're gonna have a few stacks of those or more probably. I will be using up the scorpions, and then we'll probably not come back to the desert unless these numbers really pick up, because we have gotten 43 of our legendary fish out in the city and only 19 out in the desert. So, saltwater fish. We gained an electric eel for the collection today. 2 redfin barbs. See, it's almost like you catch certain ones on certain days. We got another clawfish. So all of these are just extra. So, but those numbers moving up: 90 dragonfish, 31 giant barbs, 37 paddlefish, and 47 mud skippers. The cherry barbs are the other one we've been catching, and the amberjack. That's it. These aren't in the order anymore. I put them all near each other based on their collections. But I'm also out of some of those, so eventually we need to go fish out what I need to keep trading the daily fish. All right, let's bring this character back to Arborstone. What a day. We're talking about all sorts of stuff, too. I hope you all had fun. I appreciate all of you being here. Any mods lurking in chat, I appreciate you. Gold in the trading post. Next Tuesday, I want to start early. And open all the envelopes. And I'll probably talk about that for the rest of this week. But let me get on the main character here so I can talk about that really quick. A couple new items in the gym store, by the way. A scarf and a hammer, if you want to check those out. We checked those out at the beginning of the show. Why is this game taking so long to load?
Time to do some real.
But I'm at 240 Divine Lucky envelopes. There is only 6 days left. So I'll get one more weekly rewards. I forgot those transmutation charges went to this spot last time when we opened those black lion chests that Ada provided the keys for. And so I'm going to have a bunch of transmutation charges going into my pocket. I think on Guild Wars 2 efficiency, I'm in the top like 2,000. Like it's almost ridiculous for transmutation charges. From all the mapping I've done, black lion chest openings, that kind of stuff, it's just, they're so stacked. But you should be able to get 12 chests of legendary shards, 4 Tyrian exchange vouchers, 4 mystic clovers, and I think 12 transmutation charges as well. So the weekly rewards were a great buy. The problem is my exotic luck has taken a big hit, and we're gonna have to make that up. That's why I'm gonna keep salvaging stuff and get as much luck as I can. Hopefully we can save up some exotics and or some ectos to make up for that luck, that kind of thing. But so far next week, I think I have like 500 and something envelopes to open. I've really stepped back this year, but it's just a waste of time and money at this point to open up these envelopes as heavily as I once did. We're going to max our magic find by using silver waste, and then I'll also open up the Evan Nashblade lucky envelopes, all the little lucky envelopes. I was opening those over 250. I stopped. We're going to open those too at a higher magic find. And then we're going to sell what we can sell. Break down what I can break down. I don't know. And then we'll be done with the festival. Onward to the next thing that ArenaNet will hopefully announce. I'm almost to my second stack of Jade Rune stones as well. So things are moving. It's just, again, it's going to take 6 months. So we've put in only 2 weeks towards these 14 legendaries. I also thought I only needed 2,800 chunks of pure jade. I was wrong. It's 3,500 or something, so I'll have to keep collecting those. So I sold some, is what I'm trying to say, and I shouldn't have. But I'm also collecting extras from just different places and things like that. Because this is supposed to be going up at 60 at a time, and by doing events and stuff, I keep getting more and more and more. So we also need to go through the list next Tuesday and probably see what I have extra of. I think I sold the amalgamated gemstones because I only needed 140 of those. And I know I have a lot more of this resin than I need. I sold a stack of that too, but I've been farming that every day. This is bank. A stack of that went for a lot. And the 41 amalgamated gemstones for 60 silver apiece. So I've gained a lot of liquid gold, so much so that I'm over 700 gold again. buying those envelopes just hasn't knocked my liquid gold down fast enough for me to keep going back up, and we've spent some. So I could probably be well over 900 gold right now. So next week when we open all the envelopes, it's going to be so much extra liquid gold that we can take the rest of the conversions, go ahead and convert it, because it takes gold to do that. So, yeah. It'll be a very interesting thing. I just have to make sure to sleep well the night before. Other than that, there's 8,000 gold worth of materials in here, and most of it I don't need. Probably can be turned into something somewhere, somehow. I'm also about to crack 1,400 obby shards, so a lot of the airship parts and stuff like that as I find Maguma lilies? That's not the word. Mystic clovers. As I find those, I need less of these 3 things on the list. And so, yeah. And I've gotten a good chunk of them in the last week. I think I've gotten like 4 or 5 Mystic Clovers. 6 Mystic Clovers in the last week. So, a good chunk of money is not needed there. And it also pushes down those airship parts, which I'm getting more of because I'm running through that map more often, and getting crowbars and that kind of thing is just adding to my money pile. Ecto, I'm about to crack 2,000 globs, even though we broke down 100 of them or whatever. Just getting these slow and steady wins the race. So much so that I had to make a new Mystic Salvage Kit. So yeah, we're doing well on those resources and things like that. Gonna need a ton of lodestones though. Tier 6 mats. Regals, hello. Tier 6 mats. We need 1,400 of all of them. The only one that's close is dust, and we're going to be using some of that dust, so but next week, again, I'm going to be consolidating all the laurels and stuff off the other accounts just to sort of take a tally. Those other accounts are going to do a big chunk of reduction to the cost of our overall 14 legendaries. Just because anytime you get an influx of crafting material, ecto, mystic coins, that kind of stuff, it takes the price down a lot very quickly. So the tier 6 mats is what they're going to focus on, and I will use my laurels on this account to get the lower tier crafting materials. But I'm actually going to hold off on that because my farming, I think I need 700 of each. I think, of tier 3 and tier 4. But my farming of these materials has actually been sped up because of all the rich node farming. So I've been getting engraved totems and the sharp claws and the normal claws and the fangs and the scales. I've been getting that as I run through. The venom sacks right here, those are the ones when I go through Dredge Haunt, and get that rich iron node. I kill all of them. Huge money maker for me. I'm talking 30 silver at a time sometimes running through that area, which means I'm getting a good chunk of these done at a time. So the other thing that's going on with those and the dust is the trophy loot. Now I might move to the might ones because I need claws, which are stupid expensive. For a lower tier material, not those, the sharp claws. Actually, that price has come down a lot. Yeah, because that one's 5 silver. I think one of these used to be like 8 silver. They were pretty expensive, but as you can tell, I think this is my lowest of all the crafting materials, 262. So getting normal claws is really hard for me. So we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. The other thing is, once these materials are maxed out for what I need, I will be selling the rest of them for liquid gold for something else. I'm not holding on to them for the future or anything. 14 legendaries in the year is quite a goal, and getting all 14 legendaries done, I should not be focused on anything else but selling off materials as I don't need them anymore. Tier 5 materials especially, I'm just going to max out what's inside here. I need 3,500 and then have 2 stacks on another character, more than likely my warrior, who's going to craft most of the stuff. put those 2 stacks and just leave these full. So anytime I see extra tier 5 mats, I will decide whether to let those build or just sell them off right away in my inventory, but I'm going to keep them on my mind, because what I can also do is take these tier 6 dust and create tier 6 mats and then sell those. So when we get into the nitty-gritty of all of this, it's going to be slowly but surely every day increasing the liquid gold in my wallet to the point where when I have so many materials but the liquid gold can catch the rest, we can stop doing anything else that requires liquid gold and focus on just the account bound stuff, and then start crafting everything to where it needs to be, so we make sure we have exactly what we need, and then start making the legendaries. And then that should happen fairly quickly. I would like to do it in one show of making 14 legendaries and applying them to my account, so we can see the final results. This is months away though, but we are already getting to the stage where it starts to get a little weird and a little more complex with the numbers. AKA, if I have all the tier 3, tier 4 mats that I possibly need, then I need to start selling those mats, because the liquid gold needs to go towards something else I don't have, more than likely antique summoning stones. We're going to need about 7 to 8k in the wallet alone for antique summoning stones and memories of Arena. So, because there's going to be taxes and things like that, and the price could also go up as we get closer to the summer. Memories of Arena, I just want to touch on that. I'm up to 116 of those. Getting 6 a day is making a chunk. And like I said yesterday, I did map... Oh, no. Oh, I'm buying those from the thing. We're going to have to work on Imperial favors a lot, too. However that's going to happen. But I got another Lamplighter's badge. I got another gift to the province. So soon this will have 1,400 chunks of ambergris in it, and then we'll continue to sell those like I have been doing in the past. If I get a chunk of ambergris at all right now, I'm just selling it. Not even hold on to it. The price keeps dropping, so I just need to grab what I can. But that's why we also need to get fishing done, so I can take a hard look at that. Today we made 2 gold, 23 silver, 30 copper from junk loot. Okay, now we know. Other than that, I have a sunstone nugget in there. Yeah, the farms have been going well for daily reset and stuff like that. Maybe in the future we'll show that off a bit better than I've been doing. I have my list. I've just been going down it. I've been skipping the blooming passiflora though. I just don't think it's profitable enough to stop. So there it is. There is the numbers. Daily resets in 9 minutes. I got 9 minutes to go eat supper. Some water here. Everybody had a nice chill day today. Sorry, it started late again. My brain, though, yesterday was completely cooked. So hopefully I can get back to a clearer mind here for this weekend. Tomorrow, hoping to have a show. Day 9 of this journey. Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. Didn't talk about it. I do not like how the randomizer is. The last couple seeds I've tested still feels like I'm fighting a lot, but then I'm not getting a high enough level to fight certain things, and I don't know where the good settings are at. And it's not very quick. So I don't know where to adjust things to make it fun to just run through like a Link to the Past thing. So if we need to break up something this week, Thursday or Friday, we might do a little bit of Link to the Past. I need to figure out the Final Fantasy 1 stuff. I just felt more irritated than I thought we would have fun with it. That's another reason I didn't do yesterday's show, because I wanted to do the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer, and I already did the extra stuff on Sunday that I would have done for Guild Wars 2. So we could have done fishing yesterday, I guess, but my brain just absolutely was bad yesterday. So sometimes you got to take those days. And I didn't take time off in January like I said I was going to do. I was going to take like a week off or something. It just hasn't happened. I've been having so much fun and success that, you know, get disappointed. I get disappointed if I don't do a show. I get disappointed if my brain isn't fully there and that kind of stuff. So, but anyhow, today was fun. Hope you all had fun. Galka, Regals, Thomas, Kai Sus, Binary, XR40. Like XR40 was here today. I swear I saw you in chat. My brain doing hypnosis. Anyone else that was here? Lex was here. Ah, my brain is fried. I feel like Chaz was here today. Someone was at the beginning of chat, and I cannot scroll up and see. Oh, there you are, XR40. I don't know how I read that. Hi, Sus, don't do that. That is rude, I guess. Don't have dinosaurs eating hands, I guess. Why did you get timed out? Like stream elements? For 1 second? I don't know what you did. Anyhow, I'm done for the day. I know today's show was a little short, but we were actually pretty successful today. We gained like 20 plus legendary fish. The dino waving. Is that it? Shouldn't it be on the hand be on the other side? Looks like the dino's eating the hand. But I don't know why stream elements timed you out. Or deleted all your messages. Was there a second message? I don't know what happened there. GD, you were here. I knew it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I'm done. My brain, I have a headache. Maybe it looks like a website? Maybe I should just get rid of stream elements. Well, Kai Sus was here, everyone. Alright, that one didn't get hit. Do it the other way, Kai Sus. Do it the way you did it the first time. Let's see if it times you out again. It's just weird. No. I don't have time for this. Would you do the hand wave thing again? Do it the other way. Let's see if the bot... You're not going to get banned. It's just timing out your message. Why? What? I don't know why it's doing that. See you later, Galka. A speedrun glitch? Yeah, something Stream Elements doesn't like. I'm looking at the words and I can't see anything in there that would catch any filter I have turned on. The words, though, hand pink and tongue out, though. Maybe that's... Hand pink, face tongue out. Maybe that's something... I don't know. let's end the show. So as always, I leave you with this curiosity, I guess. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We're all we got. Have a great night, day, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is. Make it great. If you're going to bed, sleep well, get that rest. You will need it. Trust me. If I don't see you for the rest of this week, you enjoy your last full week of January. That's right. It ends next week. Insanity. If I don't see you for the rest of this January because it's ending so fast, I hope you have a great rest of your January. Stay warm out there. Stay cool. Stay dry. Whatever's going on. Weather's crazy, man. Crazy. If I don't see you for the rest of the year, this is the year of physical health. You guys aren't going to believe this, but I've already lost 7 pounds. I don't know how. I've barely done anything. Probably because I stopped eating all those cookies and candy that I bought last year. I've been hungry since I woke up. My stomach has been growling all day, so I'm going to go find something to eat. But eat healthy if you can. 7 points? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're coming along with this journey, move. That's the key word, move. And then start substituting some of those less healthy things for more healthy things. The other thing I've been doing is eating a lot of chips, and I lose weight when I eat chips. My body just processes starch really, really fast. Or not at all. Who knows? I don't remember. One way or the other. So I can eat Lay's potato chips by the party bag and lose weight. And people are like, oh man, I'm jealous, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, like, is that all you want to eat is just chips? No, of course not. I eat lots of things. Also, I haven't been eating out as much. Maybe that's all. But anyways, my point is that mental health is important. I have stumbled at the beginning of the years with that, but with the physical health getting better, hopefully I can feel better with all that. So, put some love in chat. Gotta put love in chat. I'm out of here. Bye. See ya. Maybe I would want to be in. That sounded weird. I'm out. Bye.